typical SAT problem. I see this one pop up a good amount of time. So I have a pro tip written down over here. What I would suggest is after you're done watching this, or if you want to pause this, come back to it later, Google conjugate pair and understand, look up some examples they give you and try to understand what conjugate pairs are when you use them. All that is I'm going to try to simplify it for you for now, is whenever you see something like this on the SAT with an imaginary number or fraction, you want to multiply it by its conjugate pair. And the conjugate pair is just whatever the denominator is, change the sign. So see how that's 2 minus 3i? The conjugate pair will be 2 plus 3i. So you want to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate pair, the top and the bottom. So this is going to get multiplied by this, and the denominator is going to get multiplied by that. Now this is going to be actually a foiling. So first, outer, inner, and the last. And then let's do the same thing to the bottom. First, outer, and these are to the inner, so that's, and then the last will be 3i in that, so that's minus 9i squared. Now you can see how in the denominator, these two will cancel out, right? Plus 6i minus 6i cancel out. And the plus 12i minus 2i over here will make it 10i. And the other thing to keep in mind about imaginary numbers is, see how the problem tells me that I is equal to square root of -1? That tells me that I squared, and memorize this one, I squared equals -1. Just memorize this fact right there, that I squared is always -1. So anywhere I see I squared, I'm going to replace that with -1. So let me rewrite this. So like we said, this is going to be 8 plus 10i minus 3 times -1, because I'm replacing the I squares with -1. And the bottom, or the denominator, will be 4 minus 9 times -1. And if I simplify this further, -3 times -1 is just +3. So I'm just going to write it all out. 8 plus 10i plus 3. And the same thing in the denominator, it'll become 4 plus 9. And then let's take it one more step over here. So 8 plus 3 is 11. It's 11 plus 10i over 13. And now the question is saying, if the expression below were simplified, what would be the value of the coefficient of I? One last thing to keep in mind over here, see that 13 in the denominator? The numerator, both of these numbers are being divided by 13. So it's actually 11 over 13 plus 10 over 13i. 11 gets divided by 13. I don't know, some teachers teach as a heart. I'm not sure if that rings a bell, but 11 gets divided by 13, and the 10i gets divided by 13. And now the question, since it's asking for the coefficient of I, it'll be 10 over 13 as my final answer, because that's the coefficient of I.